And I am recording. And now I'm going to hit the record button and start talking. So here it goes. Hello, guys. Darn it. These are bloopers, so. Hello, guys. Welcome to Choosing to Live with Alexis Murphy. I am your host, Alexis Murphy. How are you guys doing today? Oh my gosh. I'm finally doing my second episode. You guys, I'm telling you, I will tell you this as I get ready to get into this podcast. Anytime you put a dream out there, you put a vision out there, you're going to get tested by it. You're going to get tested to see, are you going to continue to pursue that dream? And so I think when I had this idea of, okay, I wanted to do this podcast, I went and took the leap of faith, brought the mic, the camera, and just finally did it. So many things got in the way. My insecurities got in the way of, I don't know what to talk about. What can I bring to the table? Just so many things stopped me from doing the second podcast. But I just made up my mind. I got to do this. I believe in this. I know how to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. So I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. But so many things got in my way. But here I am. I am here. And I'm excited to be here with the second podcast. And I was like, when I tried it the second time, I was like, what can I talk about? What can I talk about that people can relate to? And I prayed about it. And what came up in my mind is the word consistency. So we're going to jump into that. First of all, I'd like to say hi again. I'm still learning everything, guys, so just bear with me. I'm excited about doing this. But thank you for your support. I know I haven't really put myself out there for real, but I'm slowly and steady working on putting something out there. So just bear with me, guys. But anyway, let's get into it. The topic that I'm going to be talking about today is being consistent. And I'm telling you guys, as I was setting up the setup for the podcast, my husband was down here and he just went in flowing. He was actually mimicking me, how I talk and how I like to talk and stuff. But in his mimicking me, I really got a lot from him that I'm going to use on this podcast. I'm going to share with you. I was like, shoot, Brother Sam, you can come on and take the mic because everything you're saying is good. He was like, no, babe, I'm going to let you do your thing. So I was like, okay. But in his short time of talking and helping me setting up the equipment, it's so much can come from the word consistency. Like I was saying, it was hard for me to get this second podcast done, but I put it out there. And anything you want done, any dream, any goal, and everything, consistency is around us. Being consistent is around us every day. You know, if we don't show up at our jobs and be consistent, they're not going to pay us. And in fact, they're going to fire us because they need you to show up at a certain time and they need you to leave at a certain time. And if you do that consistently along with good work, you just might get promoted. So consistency is around us all the time. Consistency is also in how we raise our children. We have to, when they do something wrong, we have to consistently be firm. So eventually they'll get the point that I won't do that again. Being consistent is even having a baby, carrying a baby. You have to be consistent at, you know, you have to be consistent whether you want to or not if the baby's inside of you. So some things are just by nature, it's just automatic consistent. That baby gonna sit there for like 9 months, sometimes 10. And after it get through growing and being consistent with the heartbeat and the body developing, then you get your surprise. You get a baby. So sometimes we are consistent and we don't really realize it. And most importantly, God requires us to be consistent. If we want the blessings and really learn who He really is, we have to be consistent. Sam and I recently took a leap of faith and made some business deals. And in order for this business deal to work, we have to be consistent. If we don't work it, it will not work for us. And those principles, it's not about the money, it's about the principles that you use. And then I always think of the scriptures, Matthew 6:33. If you seek ye first the kingdom of God, and seeking God always come with being consistent. Seeking His face is consistent. You may not get your answer in day one, but if you continue to be steady and stay at His throne, He will give it to you. So if you seek ye first the kingdom of God, seek His principles and all these other things, the reward, the finances, the resources will come if you practice the principle first. So consistent is a very good word. So we're going to get into the definition of consistent. What does it mean to be consistent? I know you keep hearing me saying consistency, but consistency, they're all the same. But we're going to get into the definition of the word consistent. Consistent means acting or doing or done in the same way over time, especially so as to fair or accurate. So consistency means you do something, you're unchanging. It reminds me of the word faith. Just because your circumstances haven't manifested yet, your faith do not supposed to change. And when God sees consistency in your faith, then that's when He rewards you. So consistent can also be loyal. For instance, I remember growing up in Chatham, my grandmother was very faithful. She wasn't faithful in other things, and that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother topic. Eventually, I'm going to dive into my book of I Choose to Live Out of the Shadows into the Light. And I'm just trying to work up this podcast. But anyway, my grandmother, to use her for an example, she believed in keeping the church clean, even though her house was a mess. But she believed in keeping that church clean. She was so consistent at it, and she was so loyal to that building. She was so loyal to it, she made me go clean it up. But she didn't change in what she did. And I remember going to the church when she couldn't go and just cleaning up. And I was early in my relationship with God, and I enjoyed it. You know, I really enjoyed sitting at the church by myself, cleaning up, thinking about my goals and thinking about what God had in place for me. And in my consistency, I would get little rewards. I remember I sat down and God gave me a song to write. And so being consistent and being unchangeable brings you great rewards. So that definition, acting or done in the same way over time, especially as to fair or accurate. Consistency is in a lot of things. Do you know that marriages is on the failure? The statistics in marriage that people are failing in their marriage. And one of the reasons why marriages are failing is because both people, the man and the female, have to be consistent. You have to keep getting up. You have to remember your vow that you made. You have to act or done in the same way over what time. You have to keep doing it over time. Sam and I have been going on 8 years of marriage. And in those 8 years, it has not always been easy. And we have hurt each other's feelings. We've got into arguments, but in the midst of that, after all that disagreeing was over, you still have to remember the consistency. You still have to remember, okay, I'm going to be consistent. So a lot of reason why marriages is failing is because nobody is being consistent. When it get hard, your consistency don't supposed to change. Like the definition says, acting or done in the same way over time, especially as fair or accurate. You have to be accurate in your marriage. You have to be accurate on your job. Go to work, do your job. And whatever, and sometimes it's hard. But you know what keep us going? That money. We know we got to get those bills paid. And we know that we got to get this done and that done. So we go faithfully to that job. Do the best we can so we can get that raise or get that whatever we need. And I think I hear somebody coming downstairs, I think. Or maybe not. That's my husband. Oh, but anyway. But yes, you have to show up, and it says